All right. Today we are here to talk about Batman Forever.
Yes, we are.
So, hey, how about you give the audience a general gist of the plot?
A general gist of the plot. Ooh,
Yeah.
Put me on the spot.
I am putting it as well.
General gist of the plot. Batman fights Two-Face and fails. Riddler, well, before Riddler, Edward Nygma works for Batman, gets upset when Batman turns his idea down because he's... What's the words I'm trying to say? He's too... He wants the answer now, and it's like, well, then the answer's no. Yeah, okay, fine. Then he gets all butthurt about it and devises a plan to basically get revenge on him by basically stealing Wayne Tech that he created under Wayne Tech, which Wayne owns the rights, which they never even touched upon at all.
Yeah, no, they don't get into the legalities of technically what he created. He couldn't create on his own because he technically created while he was under employment by Wayne Enterprises. So that means Wayne Enterprises then legally owns his creation, so he can't actually take it anywhere.
No, he couldn't have done what he did. Then Riddler finds Two-Face. Sorry, I guess Nygma becomes Riddler. Or the question. Then, Riddler finds Two-Face. Two-Face is like, how did you find me? And somehow, I guess, through brainwaves, he found him, but they never really fully explain how.
The Riddler's device is more of a magical MacGuffin than an actual scientific mechanical machine.
Yeah. Oh, right. Robin's in this. Robin's parents die. Robin
also has a brother.
Into the Batcave. Eventually, he convinces Batman to let him be Robin. Stuff ensues. Big battle happens at the end. There's a love interest that she's just so dense she doesn't see what's right in front of her. All the signs are there.
Let's talk about. I was about to say Vicky Vale, but it's Chase Meridian. Let's talk about Chase Meridian for a while, for at least a couple moments. She's supposed to be an intelligent, sophisticated woman,
psychologist,
but she is one of the dumbest people in this entire movie.
Yes,
she can't figure out who Batman is with all the clues in front of her. Multiple times at multiple points.
You like bats, do you? That's actually Rorschach. People see what they want to see. Well, why would Bruce Wayne be seeing Batman? Or bats?
That's interesting.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne is also the same height and build as Batman, who I just met. They have very similar chins and eyes.
There was that slip where she was like... She said something and then he said... she's like, I think he felt the same. And then he said something along the lines. Sure did. And she's like, what? And he's like, I mean, how could he not?
He's like, oh yeah. Like, boy, you're dumb.
And then there's the, I'm Batman. What was that, Bruce?
Bruce, who I'm sitting right beside, even though this is very noisy in here, I can still kind of make out because I'm right beside you. Like, I can understand how other people in the audience couldn't have heard him scream, I'm Batman.
Yeah.
But... she's right beside him. But it's like, da-da-da, I guess I have my earplugs in.
I've worked on construction sites. And there's a lot of noise on construction sites. And I'm able to yell across a house that we're building to another person for them to do something.
I don't know.
They can hear me. But yet, him being like, these people are going to die. Something bad's going to happen. So I'm going to pronunciate at the top of my lungs, I'm Batman, and no one's gonna hear it. That was bad. So she gets kidnapped like any damsel would. He has a choice: choose your sidekick or your love interest. He saves both. He kills Two-Face. He mentally destroys the Riddler. He's kind of like Optimus Prime in the Transformers movies. He's just a murderer, pretty much.
Yeah, that's fairly consistent for the Batman films up to this point.
Fair. Yeah, it's fair.
Because this is like the third installment in the Burton Schumacher era. So it's like he killed the Joker and a crap ton of henchmen. Yeah. And then in Batman Returns, he pretty much kills the Penguin.
Yeah.
And a few henchmen.
Yeah.
And in this one, he kills Two-Face.
Yeah.
So murder is consistent for him at this point.
Really, a lot of the superhero films, they kill off the villains.
Yeah. That was a trope back in the day.
Yeah, because we can't have them come back for a sequel.
Because it'll cost too much.
Now, I know it sounds like I don't like the film, but I do, because it's actually, as said in a previous review, that this used to be my favorite one. I've since my tastes have changed, and I, of course, like 89 way better than this one. It's a good film, but there are just so many things wrong with it.
I know.
One of which is the chess riddle. Where was the chess riddle?
Yeah, there's at least 20, 25 minutes of this film that's been cut out. So that's part of the problem.
That needed to be
there.
I
know. So there's like certain things that like scoop by that don't make sense. Like, when did the third riddle come into play? He got it during a deleted sequence in the film.
Yeah, that should have been left in. That was heavy to the plot later when they figure something out.
There was a whole subplot in this film that was cut out where he actually forgot he was that he was Batman, and he had to go back through the same journey through the cave he took as a child and find that giant bat to remember everything.
That's still alive?
I think it was more of a metaphorical bat he found. I don't think it was really there. Like, the giant bat was a figment of his imagination.
Was it when he was a kid, though?
Yes, but he had to go back on that journey and rediscover that bat again.
Okay, yeah, that would have been a bit confusing.
And then he would remember who he really is fully.
Right.
Because in that sequence where he wakes up in the bed after he's attacked, and Alfred's basically going through the whole shtick about, Master Dick has run away. They kidnapped Miss Meridian, and the Batcave's been destroyed, including everything in it,
except the plane and the
Batboat and the experimental bat suit. But we'll get to that in a bit.
It was a separate part of the cave.
Yeah, it was a secret part of the cave. But yeah, so in that sequence, what actually happens is he's like, Batcave? He's like, yeah, because you're Batman. He's like, I'm who? Like, he doesn't remember being Batman.
Okay.
So he would have to go through that whole journey through the cave system and find that metaphorical bat and then remember who he was, and then we would have gotten that sequence where he goes into the bat cave and he's like, and then Alfred goes the whole
your experimental suit. Yeah.
So that was another part that was cut. And another part too that was cut out from the film was they were using this is what I love. They don't know who Batman is yet, but somehow they were using the brainwave device to mess with his brainwaves to keep him confused and off their scent. See, I'm glad they cut that part because that part doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because apparently that part would have come into the film before they discovered Bruce Wayne as Batman. So to me, there's no way they logically could explain that. You could explain it away if that occurred after they found out Batman was Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then because you could have been, okay, they're targeting Bruce Wayne, so they're sending the signal towards Wayne Manor to mess with his brainwaves or wherever they know he's going to be, kind of thing. So when he's Batman, he gets confused and goes to the wrong place. Like, there's a deleted scene where he thinks he's chasing them or showing up to a robbery where they're going to be at, and he shows up to like some hair salon instead. So Batman's like, I guess I'm in the wrong place. And the girl's like, Batman, you gonna get your hair done?
No, I don't have hair. Do you see hair coming out of the suit? One of my Batwoman?
Yeah, I've seen that deleted scene online before, the salon one.
But is it on the disc for deleted scenes?
It could have been. I can't remember. Okay. I definitely remember originally watching it on YouTube years ago. I don't know if that is or is not included in the deleted scenes category for the film. On the disc. But yeah. I have to say too, like I didn't dislike this film. There's lots of parts about this film I really enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite part.
And well, hang on, I'll get to that in a second. And this film could have been a much better film if they just had a bit of a tighter script, did a little bit better editing, and maybe weren't so like campy and goofy at certain spots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's just
this
really could have been a really solid Batman film if they just put a little bit more effort into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that being said, I really did enjoy this movie. But at the same time, I can't say I like it more or less than Batman Returns kind of thing for me.
Right.
They're both kind of like on the same level, playing level for me, because there's lots of things I liked in Batman Returns. There's lots of things I disliked in Batman Returns. And I feel it's like kind of the same here, where it's like you got half of a good movie, you just had to work on the other half. You know what I mean? So that's why Batman 1989 is still my favorite from this era, because it's the most solid Batman film out of the four. And then of course there's the unmentionable fourth installment that there's a fourth we don't really want to talk about, that is pure dumpster fire garbage.
The one with Nightwing.
That's not Nightwing. he's got the Nightwing suit, but he has a cape and they call him Robin. But he's not Nightwing. He's Robin.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he says Nightwing in this one.
Yeah, he's as a potential name you could take. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the audience. But yeah, it's like, yeah, we know what you're doing. But yeah, it was like, we all know you're not going to jump over into like Nightwing when we haven't had a Robin yet. So
yeah, of course, I mean? Yeah.
So we all knew he wasn't going to call himself Nightwing, and when they initially established him as Robin in this one, the game plan was always when they come and do a fifth installment, then he'll go to be Nightwing, and if they do a sixth installment, then they would introduce Jason Todd. They never got there,
right?
Because after the fourth one crashed and burned.
Right.
Everything freezes.
Everything freezes.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Sorry, I just can't get it out of my system.
No, it didn't. It was a meteor. I mean, theoretically, but
I know.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, that movie doesn't exist. So what's your favorite part?
Favorite part in this movie? Yeah, that's a good question. What is my favorite part in this movie?
Mine's when he throws the coins and confuses him.
and brutally murders
him. Because he's like, wait, you didn't flip your coin.
I think my favorite part in this movie is when he's on the roof with Chase, having the banter with her when she turns on
when she's in the 90s? Yeah.
And he's having the back and forth with her, basically like, like this is not an emergency. Why are you calling me out?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a very stalkery, horny chick. I want to get the hell out of here. Then he ends it. Oh, he says a line too. That remember when I said to you, if someone were to say that nowadays, they'd be canceled.
What
was?
Oh, that was earlier. When that wasn't then. That was earlier when he brought the second riddle to her. He's like, I want to get you out of that dress.
No, he goes, I want to get you out of those clothes.
Out of those clothes.
And she's like, what? And he's
Excuse
like,
me?
into a black dress. Tell me, doctor, do you like the circus? I'm like, oh, only if you could do that.
Yeah, no, that would not be okay.
But I swear there's something he says to her then too. That I said something about that wasn't exactly PC for modern day anymore either.
Well, that's the only one I remember was about the clothes.
I know, we just watched this too, and we can't really fully remember. That's how memorable it is. But no, and I did like the end cap when he jumps back into his car at the end. He's like, women.
Yeah.
But you know what? Overall, as I said, it wasn't a bad film. This is the first installment where Michael Keaton in this series where Michael Keaton didn't play Batman.
Yeah,
and he was replaced by Val Kilmer. And I honestly didn't have a problem with Val Kilmer on the role.
No, I liked it.
Yeah, I honestly did. Like, a lot of people feel he's a bit wooden, or he's just not emoting as much as he should be. But I found him fine for this role.
Yeah, no, I didn't see a problem with it.
Batman's not exactly a giant emotional person.
No.
Even when he is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Except when he's playing fake Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Playing it up.
And you could argue that when he was playing fake Bruce Wayne in this film, he was like emoting more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when he was real Bruce Wayne, he wasn't emoting. And Bruce Wayne? Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. Am I pulling Rich Evans from Red Letter Media and I'm slurring my words and fucking out my names?
Oh, that one brag.
But yeah, like when he was playing real Bruce Wayne, he wasn't emoting as much. And when he was Batman, he was
definitely emoting more.
He was emoting less, even less, you know what I mean? Than when he was fake Bruce Wayne. You could see.
Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like 3 levels.
Yeah, he was like he was definitely emoting more when he was fake Bruce Wayne. He was emoting less when he was real Bruce Wayne, and he was emoting the least when he was Batman. Which is fine. Yeah. And he had the dual voice. He had this Bruce Wayne voice, and he had this slightly more grabbier voice for Batman, just like Keaton did.
To be honest, I barely noticed it.
There was times like when he did the women line. And he was like...
Oh, it was more there.
Yeah. And also the line, too, was like, try fireman, less to take off. You can really hear it there more.
Is there less to take off, though?
I don't know.
Logically.
I've never tried to strip a fireman, so I don't know.
But you've tried to strip Batman?
In my mind.
Oh, okay, fair.
I don't know. But I would assume, considering how much he had on compared to how much rubber a fireman would have... Logically, yes, it would be less, I guess.
I don't think so, though.
I don't know, man. Once again, as I said, I've never been a fireman, and I've never tried to strip a fireman, so I don't know.
But
it's also just a line in the movie.
Yeah, that's fair. Something that I mentioned during our reviewing that we hadn't talked about in previous reviews, the cars.
Yes.
What were the cars?
What do you mean? What,
like what was the base model of the car before they made it look like the Batmobile?
Of all these is the Batmobile from Batman and Batman Returns.
Yeah.
And that was a 1970s Chevy Impala.
Right.
That they basically hollowed out and built a car around.
Mm-hmm.
So they used an Impala frame. And I believe they used they also added parts, I think, from a Corvette too. Because a Corvette is a very more of a slimmer model. But there was parts where they kind of cannibalized they used the frame the frame of the Impala,
the chassis
of the Impala,
and
they took parts from other cars and other things and added them on, then kind of built some original pieces, and then eventually after the Frankenstein mess was done, we got the Batmobile from the first 2 Batman movies. For the Batmobile and Batman Forever, it was original from the ground up. They built an original chassis and they built around it. And the whole idea was basically they wanted it to be they kind of wanted to be an homage to classic 1950s roadsters, kind of fast cars. And to a degree it was. They actually initially hired H.R. Giger, the guy who designed the Aliens with the Alien franchise, to do his take on a Batmobile.
Okay.
And as you can imagine, it was just this really messed up, crazy thing that could never work in reality.
Yeah.
And it basically looked like a vehicle and an alien xenomorph drive. That doesn't quite work in the Batman film, but sure.
But nice job.
But they did take some elements from it. He kind of had that line paneling on his monstrosity, and they took it for this one and kind of put that line paneling on it, and then they put neon lights under it so it would shine out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you could probably say from his initial monstrosity of a design that kind of made it through to the final piece.
Right.
And then the rest of the car, as I said, was an original concept built around the classic concept in a 1950s Speedster. And they also looked at a lot of the classic Batmobiles from the comics from the 1940s and 50s.
Right.
As somewhat as inspiration for it too. And then at the end of the day, that kind of all amalgamated into the one we got.
And if you noticed, when they walked into his car museum, basically, his garage, there was actually not the 1960s Batmobile but a car that looked a lot like
it,
the 1960s Batmobile.
And I forget what the 1950s Batmobile, I mean the 1960s Batmobile, you're talking about the one from the Adam West show, right?
Yeah.
I forget what specific car it was, but I'm fairly certain the car we saw, that was the car they used to build the Batmobile from.
Yeah.
Like the chassis or frame. I just forget what it was.
Wait, the one that was in his garage was the one that is the final product we see? They built it from that?
No, you said you thought you saw an old car in the garage
that
reminded you of the one from the 1960s show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the real car that they used as the chassis for that show. And built the Batmobile from.
They used for the Dude, they just put like a bat emblem at the front.
I know, they were... Yes,
and like they put like a bulb on like the car seat.
I know, it was I know. They put a lot less effort in... Yeah, I know. They put a lot less effort.
They didn't really rebuild anything. They just added to it.
They had to put the I'm gonna get rid of this. They had to put the bulletproof glass on there or something. And then
they added
the light
to it.
and the bat wings at the back.
Oh,
and the
right, there was fins. Yeah. Fair. But yeah, it was really cool. I didn't actually spot that when I was younger until this viewing. I would absolutely recommend to people to go see this.
Yeah, if this one.
If you haven't gone to see this, like if you haven't seen it, go see it.
My opinion is if you give Batman Returns a chance, give this one a chance.
Oh, yeah. 100% yes. Personally, you say they're kind of even for you. Mm-hmm. For me, this one is way above Returns.
Yeah. No, and as I said, there's some people who absolutely love Returns, and there's some people who absolutely hate Returns.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle where I'm like...
You're middle ground, yeah. It's balanced. It makes sense. Anything else you'd like to talk about in this forever recording?
Yeah, the fact that we didn't get Two-Face or Riddler, we just got Joker knockoffs.
Right? I was trying to make that comment earlier, but there was too much Joker.
Yeah, I know. It was like, we can't allow Two-Face and Riddler to be their own villains. We basically just have to have them try and do their own interpretation of the Joker as these villains. Yeah. And it's like, no. Just allow Two-Face to be Two-Face and the Riddler to be Riddler.
Yep.
They don't have to be over the top and so manic and so crazy.
Yeah.
I get it. If you want the Joker, you just find a way to bring Jack back. Be like, oh, he was cloned, or he didn't really die, or he just put a double in a suit and had him die off the building, as he's done in the comics before.
Absolutely.
There's like 1,001 ways they could have came up with a cockamamie idea to resurrect Jack for the third one, if that's what they really wanted.
Yeah,
they should have done that.
Absolutely, I agree. So I was thinking back to one of the things I said when we were watching it that I didn't even mean to say. I'm like, I haven't seen this in forever, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Batman Forever.
Yeah. And it wasn't even intentional. So I definitely thoroughly enjoyed the film. I was happy, we decided to watch that one tonight and not
the monstrosity we shall not speak of.
The one that shall not be named.
Yeah. The one with the
Batman and Nightwing.
I was gonna say the one with the penis Batmobile.
And the bat nibs.
Well, there was to be fair, I was gonna say there's bat nips in this one.
What's there bat nips? There was Robin nips.
There's bat nips.
I didn't see the bat nips.
There's bat nips on the first costume, not the sonar suit. Because the sonar suit had the giant bat on there.
Okay,
so there's no bat nips on that one.
Very fair.
But there was bat nips
But there was bat butt.
There's lots of bat butt.
But was it Robin butt?
I can't remember if it's Robin butt. But there is an incredibly great amount of bat butt in the next one. And definitely Robin butt.
And Batgirl butt.
And so Batgirl butt. But not as much Batgirl butt as there's Batman and Robin
We're making this movie for dudes. They want Batman's butt. And Robin's butt.
What
about Batgirl's butt? No, we don't want that.
Well, to be fair, the director was homosexual, so...
That makes sense. What about this one?
Yeah, it's Joe Schumacher.
Oh, it's the same guy?
Yeah, for Batman Forever and Batman Forever. So
okay, that makes sense.
You clearly see he is kind of throwing some of those tropes in, for the gay audience.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it clearly shows. When you get a straight director and he's shoving, a gratuitous amounts of, boobs and butt in your face, and he's kind of doing the same thing, but with male butt.
There was a female butt in this one when Chase was.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I know. When
I mean, it was probably a stunt double or something, but
still.
Even
regardless, but I'm sure that wasn't also intended. I don't think they really thought her dress was going to blow up like that.
Yeah. I'll just leave it.
And she is like wearing those fishnet stockings over her underwear, so you don't really get to see a lot. But it's like, but they kept it in.
You got to see about as much.
Schumacher was like, "Yeah, you know, we put so much male butt in this. Let's give the straight guys 5 seconds."
Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah, good film. I definitely enjoy watching it, even though it's been forever. Like, could sit down tomorrow and watch it again. I'd probably still enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed it tonight.
Yeah, like I don't have a problem with this one. As I said, this one for me is definitely more watchable than Batman Returns, but quality-wise, I'll admit, for me, they're both the same. Yeah. Because as I said, I feel they're both half a good movie.
Yes.
And
room for improvement. Any closing statements, brother?
No, other than, I recommend watching it. It's not that bad if you've heard a lot of horrible things. Like a lot of people equate this to being as bad as Batman and Robin, and no, they're not. Like, this one is substantially better than Batman and Robin.
Yes, leaps and bounds.
Yeah,
leaps and bounds.
Sure, this movie has issues, and sure, this movie has its, like, corny sequences you roll your eyes at, or some stupid dialogue, you're like, oh, good lord. But, like, overall, it's, like, compared to Batman and Robin, yeah, it's leaps and bounds better.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say something, but now I've forgotten. Well, maybe I'll remember by the end. Oh, that was it. What did you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? You got to engage with the audience.
I know, man, but it's just like...
What was that? What was that thing?
Standing there going, like, what was you going to say at my old age?
What? What was that? What? I was going to say... Oh, yes, the other people. What did you think of it? Did you like it as much as we liked it? Did you like it less than we liked it? Did you... Are you someone who just absolutely doesn't even want to watch this film? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, and also go see The Batman on March 4th.
Yes, March 4th. That's coming up soon.
Yeah. Soon.
Are we?
I don't know what's going on with...
Can we?
Well,
I mean, obviously, yes, with life and, baby.
I say with the baby on the way and how busy March might be.
Yeah, I get that.
I want to go opening night, so we'll see.
So do I.
Yeah.
Even if I got to work that night.
Yeah.
I want to go see that.
We'll figure it out, bro. We'll figure it out.
Then we could do a review that night. Oh my goodness. That could happen. Well, I mean, if I had to work, then,
Well, we'll figure it out. You look at your schedule for March 4th/5th, and we'll figure it out.
See what I can do.
All right.
Maybe I can switch a shift.
Yeah, maybe.
That could work. I got one of those in the bank.
My job ends usually every day at 3:30, 4 o'clock, so...
Mine starts at 11 at night.
I'm going to say, my nights are free.
It depends as the week falls.
And I don't work weekends, so...
Yeah.
Basically independent on when you have 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, well... Sorry, I was being sarcastic.
I know, more of a metaphor. But, how long is it?
Oh, it's almost 3 hours.
Is it? I figured. That's why I said 2 to 3 hours. Okay.
It's almost 3 hours, yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can squeeze out 3 hours.
Fair enough. I think maybe we should wrap this up for a bit.
Yeah, kind of
rambling on like a couple old drunk men. Yeah.
What?
What? What'd you say?
Huh?
Peacemaker's dad sent you? What?
What about the eagle?
Eagly!
Did you know he hugs me?
My eagle does hug me. It is real. All right,
I still haven't actually seen that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you next time.
Adios.
Sayonara.